Hello and welcome to the Quibber channel. I am Jason, your host, just putting my gloves on, going for a little wander today. I'm going to talk about the situation and the plan. We already talked about it on a vlog, but now we're going to talk about it while I'm wandering, because talking about it helps me verbalise it, criticalise it, have a look at it, see if there's anything I'm missing. As you know, the UK government are trashing the mental health system and the benefit system. They are going to destroy what little safety and harbour that disabled people have in this country. Today I am classed as severely disabled. As soon as the new rules come out, I will be classed as able to go to work. My disability has not changed. This is the same disability that meant that most of my contact with my hospital and everything was done via phone. That my appointments with my doctors and even my blood, when they took my blood, they came out to me. This is the same situation that meant that DWP contacted me and told me that I was severely disabled, and they were flagging me on my account and giving me access to new extra funds. None of that has changed. I repeat, none of that has changed in any way, shape or form, but because they're changing the rules, because they're changing the goalposts, and they're putting every single part of disability behind the PIP assessment, something like 80% of people on PIP will lose access to PIP. This is people who work, who use PIP to be able to function as a thingy, detect the extra money, and that helps. But because they're putting every other benefit behind it, if you lose PIP, you lose everything. So what will happen to me at that point in time? They will, first of all, ask me for an in-person assessment. Now, they have never asked me for an in-person assessment. I've always done it on the phone or on video call or other ways or in writing, because they know that I don't function well in reality, that if I was 2 foot away from a safe space or my mobility safe space, I can lose connection with reality. I can disconnect. I can become catatonic. It is a dangerous thing. And so, that first assessment in person will cause me to fail that assessment, and also be unable to basically go. In fact, when they ask me to go to the in-person assessment, I'm going to have to refuse. That will probably mean that they will sanction me or cancel my PIP altogether straight away, because they won't be doing the thingy. No matter what I do, I will lose PIP at that point in time. Then, at that point, they will sanction all the rest of my payments, and they will shift me onto the job seekers version of benefits, which lasts for a short while you're looking for work. When they try to get me to look for work, I won't be able to, because I'm severely disabled. But they will try, and then I will lose that benefit as well. And at this point in time, there will be no money coming into my house at all. It will all be gone, and I won't be able to get a job, and so on. So I will be in a critical situation. I will not be in as bad situation as other people, because other people don't have a home that they own. They have a home that they're paying a mortgage on. They are renting, and therefore they will lose their house. I won't lose my house straight away. But without the funds coming into the house, I will be in a serious issue, as you can understand. I will have to try to, how can I put it? I will be forced into a plan where I have to use something called a equity release, which is you live in your house, but you get an amount of money to live on, which isn't that much, because my house isn't worth that much, but that money will allow me to survive for months, maybe even a couple of years. At that point in time, when I have this anchor, when I have this savings as a safe space, if I can iterate it and work it right, I'll set up a Patreon. I'll set up people will be able to support me. I will try to do songs and try to narrate books and maybe even get into becoming a voice actor for stuff. People keep saying my voice would be good for all that kind of... I'll do meditation books, I'll do other things, I'll try anything. But I won't be able to focus on it, I won't be able to function on it and do it as a full-time thing, but I'll do what I can just to try to make enough money to actually pay for food and basic things. I'll have to cut down lots of things, I'll have to sell lots of my coping strategies, which will cause a slow degradation of my mental health as my coping strategies thingy. Now the thing is, by the end of this year, I am going to voluntarily remove myself from the means tested benefits, because I've had to understand that the way that they are treating people on disability is getting so bad that I can no longer leave myself on there waiting for them to attack me, waiting for them to try to remove me. So I will remove myself from that first when I do this equity release. I will have a holiday in America, quite a cheap holiday. I'll be going with a friend, who the guy who comes to visit me, Brit, and I'll be staying go away for 2 weeks, not a month, and we'll be staying at a friend over there, so we don't have to have too many costs. So, but the rest of the money will go towards keeping the house going when I get back. Hopefully, I'm hoping that the visit to America will give me some sort of reset sometime in my brain, give it a way to cope. And I'll have to recreate lots of different types of new coping strategies and so on. So that's the plan. This is what I've got to do to save myself, because being on disability now, we're being persecuted, we're being attacked by people, we're being treated like second-class citizens, and I am just glad, I'm very glad actually that I am actually didn't get enhanced PIP. Because if I had got enhanced PIP, I would have bought a brand new mobility scooter. And when they took mobility PIP away from me, they'd take the mobility scooter away from me as well. So, thankfully, because I didn't get enhanced mobility, I instead bought this mobility scooter by selling some items, so it's mine. So I will still have the ability to leave the house. So, this is what I'll have to do. This is what I'll have to function and live in a different way. And this all comes down to them changing the rules. Remember, I had multiple doctors, nurses, therapists, and my GP all agreeing that I should never be put in a situation where I work. That would be a very, very bad thing. None of that is changed, but they are not going to be asking a doctor who has 40 years experience in mental health to help me, to make a decision on me. No, it will be an assessor working for the DWP trying to remove people from disability. That is what will happen. There is absolutely no recourse on that. So The other thing is, you may say, oh, they're saying they're going to put in place some stuff so that you can have help and that. That would be wonderful. If they put in place all the equipment and stuff to make sure that disabled people could have a chance and that, and the infrastructure is thingy, but we don't have it. There is a documentary on Sky News on YouTube about, I think the person's called Chloe or Zoe, I'm not sure, and about her treatment as an autistic person who lost her place of home of residence and how little infrastructure there is in place. Let's be real here. The little bit they are doing this to basically cut people out. It's not a positive thing. The way they're going to do this is they're going to pay a little bit to the job centre to have people to help you go into work, but they won't have enough people. They don't have the funding for it. They don't have the training for it. Every council in the country is supposed to follow a set of laws that mean that disabled people are looked after. They try, they're not bastards, they're not evil, but they do not have the funding. And this funding would take years. And when you say, oh, you could get a job replaced, well, let's be practical. What's a business going to decide? Is it going to take on a disabled person who maybe needs some more time off, who they'll have to change the infrastructure of their own whole company, who they'll have to hire more HR people for different rules to deal with a disabled person? If the person's in a wheelchair or needs a safe space or needs a quiet space, they're going to have to deal with all of that. They're going to have to pay for it because the infrastructure isn't there. Or are they going to pick the person that's able-bodied? They're not supposed to pick the person who's able-bodied, but I can't blame themselves when they do. And that's the whole point. Go across here. So, there is no infrastructure for the council, the local councils, for community support. There is no infrastructure for businesses. They are lowering the share of funding for the NHS, for the mental health divisions. And on top of that, all of the charities that they try to put stuff on for them to deal with it, those charities are actually falling apart already and working over 200% above capacity due to COVID and everything. There is literally no support, no help, nothing to allow this plan to work, of removing people from PIP and getting them back to work. It is going to decimate the NHS, it is going to decimate the emergency services as people become more and more and more problems, and all because Rachel Reeves won't go back on her cuts to get the country back on a no debt recovery. But remember this, she chose to do and give the promise for a no debt recovery and limit herself to the amount she would spend before she actually checked the books out and found out she had a 20 billion black hole left by the Tories. And she decided to go ahead with her thing, and this will cause massive problems. If you're wondering where we're going at the moment, we're going to go over to Twig Street, and I'm going to pick up some food for the doggy, because the doggy's been very stressed over the weekend. So I'm Just want to give the doggy a treat. So yeah. That is my situation. That is the way the country is. And at the same time, the UK media is complicit in the government's idea of trying to push the narrative that all disabled people are lazy, all disabled people could work, all disabled people are shirkers and scroungers, and they can do stuff that you as a wonderful working person can't. So, this is why I have to get out of this. That even if it means I will just have a couple of years breather with the money from the equity release. I mean, there's other options we looked at. Selling the house and trying to get a cheap little houseboat and living off the money that way. But we wouldn't be able to find a place that I could turn into a safe space easily. And no matter what happens, I've got to redo all of my coping strategies. Yay for cars that park on the pavement. Yay for cars that park on the pavement right in the centre. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's good, that's good. So yeah, I'm trying to take this little thingy out here and have a little wander. But yeah, there was other options, and to just sell the house and go on a holiday and try to end things on a high note. Because make no mistake, a lot of people are going to die from this. A lot of people, without their PIP payments, the PIP payments were never enough anyway. Without their PIP payments, they are across here. They're going to lose their house. They're going to end up. I mean, I know people who are disabled now who are so stressed from even just the intent that this is going to happen, and just because of all the stories in the paper making them out to be scroungers and that have already taken to drink and that. People who end up on drugs, people who end up homeless on the street, and then that will become a bigger problem for social services and all the different services that are supposed to help. This is not going to make money for the government. That's the whole point. This is going to cause massive changes. And an MP came on the blooming TV. In fact, no, I'm going to stop this. Let's talk about it next. Let's just back in a minute.